In this video, we're going to work on clicking buttons based on the presence of an image search, but not clicking on the image itself. And also, we're going to work on multiple ways to click from lazy to precise from what we've learned so far. Click visible button when the character is visible at least 5 times. So you want to click visible when he's visible, and if you click when he's not visible, it goes to oops. You can hit reset and restart your work. Once you get to 5, it doesn't matter how, the continue button will show. Let's work on that real quick. There's a little bit of a nuance to it that we have to do. Let's see what screen this is. Add an event. This is the visible with object search. This is a little bit different because the object that we're searching for has nothing to do with what we're clicking on. So we're not going to click on the object. We're also not going to click on, or we're not going to drag the object. And so how do we do that? Because in our last one, actions directly underneath a child object search will interact with the object. But now we don't want to do that. We just want to click the visible button if he's visible. We're on the visible with object search, and I will use some text from the screen and especially grab a little of the shadows. There's a nice shadow between I and S. Perfect. And let's go ahead and add a action and create an object. Let's create an object with this guy. Go ahead and grab this one. And this is red guy 2. Now we already have a red guy, but this is a different, this is zoomed in more. And so it's really considered 2 different pictures. And I'm going to click on make and use. And I actually did I make a button? That's not good. Let's get rid of that. Start over. Well, almost start over. We're going to do a event and object search, and we already made red guy 2. He's right here. We can't use red guy 1, and I'll show you why. Let's hit test. And it's not finding, let's retest from the current window. It's not finding him because this picture is zoomed in, and this bit of text looks just like him, or looks more like it than the actual image. So we used a different picture and hit test, and now we're going to more accurately find our guy. Retest from current window. Oh look, okay, so when he's not on the screen we get 81 detected threshold. So now we need to actually, and when we do find him, it's about in the 90s. So let's change our accepted threshold to 90 and use that threshold. Retest from the current window. We're getting positive when he's on the screen and negative, fails when he's not. That looks good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit use this threshold and close. That sets the 90 here. Let's set our crop our area to this section here. Let's do this. He's only going to be in this section, so we don't need to search in the other area. And let's see, red guy. So let's see, find. Let's call this find red guy. And now I'm going to add. Now, if I wanted to click on the red guy, I would add an action and click on him. Or if I wanted to drag him to the visible button, I would change it to a swipe. But since I want to click the visible button when he's visible, I'm going to get rid of this action and create a blank event. When you're on a object search event, the direct action nodes are enacted on that together. But this is an event node, and it's just a placeholder node, and now we are free to add our own actions. Now I could either check to see if it's visible, check if this visible button's here, or I could just blindly click it. Either one would work, but I like to make it a little more concrete. So I'm going to actually check to see that the visible button is there before I actually click on it, even though it's always there. So let's hit run and watch it work. Let's reset our stuff. All right, here we go. Got one. Now, one thing we're experiencing is this guy's flashing off the screen before the system is catching it. And it may be that that's what's going on. So I'm going to go over to AppTestStudio into the project and change the loop delay to 200. That means it's going to check 5 times a second. We're going to get much more granular speed on it. Now we're at our 5. And when I changed it to 5 times a second, you can see that the indicators sped up. I can zoom in and it'll be a little more obvious. Okay, so now that we've done our 5, and we can now click on the continue. Let's set that one up. We found the red guy, we use a placeholder, then we check for visible, then we click on visible. And now let's do our continue event. Let's call this continue visible. And that's going to be red. I'm going to pick 2 colors there, add an action. Action will be to click on continue and hit run. All right, now we're at a new one. Click the green buttons 1 through 6 at least 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you click 6, 6, 6, 6 or 3, 3, 3, 3, it says oops. You could hit reset, and we can reset our screens up again. Now let's do a number of ways to do this, and there's a lot of ways to do this. We also have our iteration time, our loop delay to 200 milliseconds, which is 5 times a second, which is fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's build this one. Right click, add a new event, and we're going to be on click buttons 1 through 6. So let's see, let's call this click green buttons 1 through 6. And so I'm going to get some orange here and a little gray. That little orange there will be good. Maybe a combination of black. And we can do some of the background. Why not? Put the crown there. Crown's on every screen, so that would be bad. The first way to do this is just to add a click event on the whole thing. It will eventually work. And let's hit run. And we'll just wait till it at least clicks it once. It's going to be clicking randomly in this screen. Now you may not want your application to be clicking in these areas, in different areas, but are we going to get one? Will it eventually click first? Now we have known that it will do that. All right, come on. I want to say finish change to 3, from 3. I really want it to work, so let's make it a little, we'll just do these 4, and we'll set our, oh wait, it's not going to matter. Yeah. Okay, let's hit run. Oh wait, yeah. Did it click? Still at 3. All right, I might need to reset the application. It's gone dead on me. Or maybe it's just really slow. Let's close that out and run it again. Oops. Let's go back to our 1 second delay. I don't really like, that was just one option, was to just randomly click. Well, this would work, and it would eventually finish the whole thing by just, it would sit there and randomly click through. That's, let's disable that one. Save and run. Oh, let's go back to our screen. Where are we at? Here we go. My personal preference is to go ahead and add an event for each one. Call this one first. And first would be there. Add an action. Click it. We know that you can do this. Let's call this version 2. Version click. Let's see. Version event for each one, in which we have a first, and it clicks the first one, and we have a second, and it clicks the second one, all the way till we get to the bottom. Oh, yeah, let's take a screenshot. Oh, let's go ahead and click the first one. I can hit test and it'll increase it. Let's hit take a screenshot now. It's going to grab that one. So I get my colors. Second, click the second. that's one way. Let's see, a version for each one. This is probably my favorite way. And we know you could do the rest of them. The other one is a little less obvious, but some people actually like to do this. This is just, let's call it blind continue, in which we just simply make an event for each one. So make an action. It just says click the first. Click the first. Then we hit continue. Then we have another action called, well, click the second. And then we hit continue. And then we have an action, click the third. And continue. Add action, click the fourth. And continue. We didn't set our continues on these. Continue, all right. And action, click the fifth. We want to continue. And then add another action. Click the sixth. And right there. And we can go back to home after we do the sixth. Let's disable the actual, let's call it specific version that checks for second, then clicks the second. And we could do all of the other ones. We've been doing that. We don't need to go over that again. Disable that, and then here's the blind continue. I'm gonna run that one. And it works just fine. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, done. First, second, third, fourth. If I had done the blind continue, and before I do the blind continue, I check for green, and I'm not on the green when we start, it's going to have a problem. And that's where the check each version is much more superior, because you can start it at any time. Let's go ahead and do the continue. Let's see, so the red, continue, continue. The actions continue, the events continue, the action is click continue. I don't know why this is slow, so I'm going to close it down and start it back up. I think we know how this one works. We don't need to test it. Or do we? In this video, we worked on clicking buttons triggered by an object, but not clicking on the object itself. We also worked on multiple ways to click, from lazy to precise. In the next video, we're going to work on troubleshooting and testing using the Test All button, how to design with multiple emulators, and also running multiple emulators concurrently, and also other ways of troubleshooting bugs.